Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk about materials I use. I postponed this video a bit because I wasn't sure what to talk about. I used all kinds of stuff and I wanted to narrow it down a little bit. So since I mostly work with charcoal and I mostly do black and white drawings, I'm going to talk about that and I'm going to tell you what I use for most of the drawings you see on my channel. Let's start with pencils. You've probably heard of the 5-pencil method by Daryl Tank and the 2-pencil method by Mark Riley. But I use what you might call a 3-pencil method, I guess. Except that I don't actually use 3 pencils, I use 3 types of pencils. I use a charcoal pencil, which is my main drawing tool most of the time, a black colored pencil, and a graphite pencil. The charcoal pencils I use are either Koh-i-Noor charcoal pencils. This one is Koh-i-Noor Gioconda charcoal pencil and the designation is 8810/2. Or I use woodless charcoal pencil, and I believe that the brand is Warison or Verizon. The black colored pencil that I use can be of any brand, and now I have a bunch of these Primo black colored pencils, but I also used Faber-Castell a lot, and I also used other unknown brands. Finally, I use graphite pencils, which are typically either Staedtler or Koh-i-Noor. They are usually HB in terms of grade. I use charcoal pencils because they are fast to work with and they are good for achieving dark tones and blending and spreading around. I use black colored pencils because they work really well on top of charcoal for detail, texture, precision. And I use graphite pencils for sketching and also for drawing very light tones where the area needs to be blended smoothly, typically for backgrounds, because I find that charcoal can sometimes make things difficult for me when I do that. Let me show you a few examples. This drawing was done entirely in charcoal. I find that charcoal is very good for drawing nature and wildlife. Charcoal pencils make it very easy for me to draw fur, especially in combination with brushes. Now I want to show you a drawing where I combined charcoal with black colored pencil. Most of these darker tones and much of the shading and blocking in was done with charcoal and blending tools, but this precision work, this detail, was done mostly with a black colored pencil, and I also used black colored pencil on top to produce this realistic looking skin. The technique I use with a black colored pencil is normally a tapered combination of a tapered stroke and cross hatching, and then a little bit of blending, and this is the result that you get. This combination is especially useful to me when drawing portraits. Finally, here you can see how I use graphite pencils in combination with both charcoal pencils and black colored pencils, because here in this background I used a bit of the Staedtler HB graphite pencil to create this light, smooth, unobtrusive background where I just suggested that there is a mountain and some trees in the back. As for erasers, I usually use a pencil eraser like this. This is a Koh-i-Noor eraser in a pencil, which can be sharpened like a regular pencil. And I also use a kneaded eraser, and this I believe is a Faber-Castell kneaded eraser. These two are probably the best erasers that I used so far. They work really well for me. For blending, I use these tortillions that I make myself. I made a tutorial for that and the link is in the description. And I also use brushes. I usually use bristle brushes of various sizes. They blend really well. But occasionally I also use this synthetic soft brush, which works well when trying to blend smooth surfaces. Occasionally I can also use tissue or Q-tip, and sometimes I even use some white charcoal to go over the charcoal and blend it and create smoother transitions. A few words about the paper I use. The brand isn't that important to me, and I usually use cheap local brands of drawing paper. My criteria is that it's thick and smooth. It has to be thick because of my technique. I can be a little rough when blending especially, and it has to be relatively smooth because I found that I get better results with charcoal with smooth paper. So let me sum up. Basically I use three kinds of pencils: charcoal pencils, black colored pencils, and graphite pencils. And the brands are not that important. My main criteria when it comes to charcoal pencils is that they can be sharpened well and that they don't break too easily. When it comes to erasers, I use a pencil eraser and a kneaded eraser, and I use all kinds of blending tools. I hope some of you will find this video useful, and thank you for watching.